Hey guys, Strike StarCraft coming back at you with yet another professional commentary. For all of you who do know me from before, my name used to be Strike StarCraft, but now I have changed over onto Tactics StarCraft, which is my new channel here. I am super pumped, I am super excited because this is like a completely fresh start. I was sort of straying away from my last channel because, oh wait, let's just open a production tab here. I guess I'll just introduce the players. We have here in the upper right corner of Secures Plateau, e.g. Idra. And in the bottom left, it is going to be Minigun, who is a pretty good Protoss player. Not the best in my opinion, but still could probably take me out, about like 2 or 3 of me, honestly. But anyway, I wanted to go on to discussing about my new channel. The old channel, I don't know, like, it's not really my thing, the name Strike, and I'm even changing probably my in-game tag, which is obviously my player name is Strike. But on this new channel, I plan to have a lot of strategies. Like from pro players, I plan to have a lot more replays and pretty much just a lot of more fun stuff. So this will be my first video that I'm posting on my channel, and this is a new replay. I just found it and it said Idra and Minigun. I just had to see it because I love Minigun's style of play. Even though I know that he's probably not the best Protoss, he's still an amazing Protoss. And as we can see on this map, going with the Forge Fast Expand that is so freaking standard on this map. I am so sick of seeing it. I swear if you 4-gate a Zerg player on this map, it'll be so unexpected. You'll win about 80% of the time. However, 4-gating does not make you a better player, as this Overlord is making its way across the map and is thinking to itself, why did I become an Overlord? Why couldn't I become a pair of Zerglings and run roam free? Well, we will figure this out together. This will be a journey of our of our friendship through these YouTube days. Anyways, the Forge comes up, and the Probe is sitting idly by, and it looks like he is saving it for Nexus, as he has 400 resources right there. And we actually have a pylon block going down for Minigun, and that is going to prevent this hatchery. This is something that's so annoying for Zerg players, and I do notice the macro of a Zerg player go down if I ever do pull this off, but it is quite hard on 4-player maps. Not so much nowadays because we know that players cannot spawn really close spawns, but still, nevertheless, it can be a little bit tricky to pull off and get, especially with all the multitasking. I'd say that platinum players or maybe even low diamond players and above don't really do that too often. And here we have a photon cannon finally coming up after Nexus. So, and I'm hoping he's getting his second pylon somewhere. You might want to be getting a pylon. Oh yeah, he actually has a second pylon already up. And that pylon is over here. But it is soon to be going down, and he's only going to have 17 supply at 18. Yes, there goes the pylon. And the Zerglings have really got to get out of there so that he can plant down that hatchery. There we go. The drone turning itself into a hatchery. There we go. Finally, a little bit delayed on that. However, I believe that had to do with resources that he had in his control. And he is actually going for a 4-minute third. This is probably the fastest third you can get as a Zerg player. This is even faster than the semi-standard, I would even say. I dare to say semi-standard. 5.5-minute third. And we're just going to have to see how this plays out for Minigun. If it gets discovered early on, then it's going to be really hard for Idra to hold off. But honestly, I don't see Minigun really going anywhere with this, as he has a cybernetics core going down. And really, a huge thing for Protoss players is on 2 base, really you should get a Stargate up, because the only thing that a Zerg player can do to you in this scenario is either get Banelings, Zerglings, or Roaches, all of which cannot shoot the air. And so if you get a Void Ray, really you're honestly just flying off those 2 base. Idra just droning up like a boss here. Going to be grabbing as many drones. And a lot of people ask, what is that thing inside there? I actually think that it's the drone that's sort of, going through a metamorph or something. As it seems to make the most sense, because what else would be swimming around in there? And actually he has his third up faster than his second, which is quite entertaining. I've never seen that before. Anyway, Minigun doesn't really have too much saturation going on in his main, mainly because he transferred a lot of probes to his natural. We can see him chrono boosting out a Stalker, which is always a good thing. Zell can be running out here, slapping a Zergling in the face. The Zergling's going to take it like a man and run away. However, we do have only 2 more Zerglings on the way and 2 more drones. I guess, well, he is keeping on top of his inject larva, however. getting the early hatchery early on, really, as you can see in his minerals up here, he doesn't really have the ability to spend all the money on all of his larvae. Which is why you want to get a little bit of saturation first, usually, before you go and grab expansions. But hey, if you have a maximum amount of larvae, and if you're able to keep your income down this low, that is only helping you in your macro. So now we do have something coming down for the Protoss player, I believe. Yes, we do. Here we have 2 gateways and a robotics facility tucked away in the left side of the base. Will this Overlord be able to get there? I'm not too sure, but there is an Overlord here that might be able to spot it in and of himself. And so we have more Zerglings streaming out. If we take a look at the something tab, I've forgotten the tabs because it's been so long. We want to look at the army tab. We actually have Minigun not too far behind Idra, but still Idra a little bit ahead in the army tab. Let's take a look at the income tab. Yeah, Idra is going to be a little bit ahead, but not too much, surprisingly. Namely because of the Protoss Corona boost, I'd imagine. But that's soon to change, I'd imagine that I'd stop saying I'd imagine so much. This queen looking diligently at this hatchery as she's just waiting. And a bunch of Zerglings poking up this ramp. That is not a good idea. That's not a place where you want to be, as this sentry does have enough energy for a force field. However, he does not have enough energy for 2 force fields. And honestly, to try and get up a ramp of a Protoss player is so freaking hard for Zerg players. I mean, look at this. Gateways have 1,000 HP. Cybernex Core has 1,100 HP. Forges have 800 HP. So if there's going to be a building that you want to Baneling bust, it'd be the Forge, I guess. But now he's going to be working down his own Cybernex Core. As you can see, he's building his own Cybernex Core again in his main. Let's switch back to the production tab, and now this is where the Zerg player gets comfortable. Now this is where Idra's happy. He's building. He's producing off all of his 3 bases. Well, not so much producing as macroing up. And wow, I needed this with the water. The Overlord getting hunted down by the toilet monsters, toilet bowl monsters. I don't know, they look like a little bit of a toilet bowl. Like if you look at the, their faces look like a rim, and the blue orb looks like the water in the toilet. Anyway, we have the Zerglings trying to attack this one Stalker, but that's not going to work. They're going to get tased by these sentries. Don't tase me, bro! And it looks like Minigun is actually looking to do some damage. This is completely standard. You want to move out so that you force the Zerg player to produce army units instead of drones. Because if they're allowed to produce drones all day, then it's just going to be your living nightmare. We have 12 Zerglings on the way, 6 Roaches, and Glial Reconstitution finally being researched. And about 10 minutes in this game. And I don't know if Minigun's going to be able to do a lot because Idra has been picked off. But then again, this is a lot of sentries, so we're just going to have to wait and see. I would like to see more Zealots out of him to protect the sentries and Stalkers. But we're just going to have to see. This is a lot of stuff to deal with. We have about 8, 9, 10, 11 Roaches right here. And 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 Zerglings, 14 Zerglings. Here we go. They're going to be pushing up into the 3rd. Will he force field the ramp so that he can take down the 3rd? We'll just have to see. Yes, he does get the force field off on the 3rd. Will he be able to get the hatchery? I really think he will with this amount of sentries. And I don't know if this is already paying for itself, because if he loses all of these units here, then that just might not be so good. Is he warping in units? No, he is not. Not warping in any units. Is this going to be it for his army over here? He's continuing to force field. The force fields are actually hampering his ability. Idra! Idra! Oh my god! Oh my god, there's a war prism here. Oh! Oh god. Oh, why did I cast this replay? Anyway, as my first replay, I would just like to say that I do not condone swearing in any such way, unless it is in the form of StarCraft Rage. Yes, you heard it from me, and you heard it from me first. Roaches now streaming over to the 3rd. This is a bad rally point. You do not want to rally your Roaches straight into the Protoss ball. There are still a bunch of sentries here, and he should really use Guardian Shield and Force Field these Zerglings up into the ramps. Yes, he does. He gets about half the Zerglings up here. Those will not be able to do too much damage. They will not be able to do a lot of damage to the army. They will not be able to complement this army over here. Now, will Colossus Minigun be able to hold? The energy on the sentries is running quite low. He only has enough for about 1 or 2 Force Fields per. Still force fielding the ramp, still baiting the Zerglings and Roaches up here, and Idra is just completely ticked off, as we can see. He's just trying to run up here, but he's not letting him. Minigun is actually going to be running up this ramp, which only takes 1 force field to block off. Yes, he does block it off, sort of. The Roaches are still able to squeeze there. He's forced to use a second force field there, but still, this is an excellent position for a minigun. I really do not see how Idra can do anything against this. Has a bunch of cannons up here, warping in a bunch of stalkers, and even has a mortal. There's no way that Idra's going to be able to break that. I would have suggested for Idra to have gone and actually attacked minigun earlier, but oh my god, I cannot believe this. Idra is just... I think Idra's losing it here. He's grabbing another third, but honestly, if he doesn't get his act together, then it's just going to be lights out for him. Idra has got to keep his cool. Idra has to remain focused. Every player knows that you play the most and at your best when you are relaxed, so that you can have a clear head and a clear mind to think properly. And these Zerglings are going to be splitting up here. I think that they're just looking around for expansions or any sort of weird targets. Maybe they'll morph into Banelings and burrow themselves for an impending third or fourth. But anyway, Zergling was actually up here, and this army is going to be making their escape. He is actually going to be loading, wow, onto this ground here. This is ingenious by Minigun, and he can just start sending his units over to his main. And what is Minigun doing now? He's only going to be on 2 base still, and he does have a bunch of warp gates, and he's still researching his +1 weapons. Right now his army is, oh wow, well, there it is. I don't know how I couldn't have seen that on the minimap, but Idra's going to be pushing up into here. Will Minigun be able to hold? I think he will, because he has a bunch of stalkers and sentries already on this side. His army is split in 2, which is not ideal, but still, with the amount of defenses that he has, it should be enough to hold off anything that Idra might throw at him for now. Warping in more stalkers here, this is definitely going to be foolproof. Idra cannot afford to run up this, especially with the sentries. They just force field that army in half and just pick apart the roaches. What will Idra do? Oh my god, we have got to go back to that moment. I will not forget about that, because I believe that the Warp Prism probably did something else, like dropped Zealots off or something. Anyway, we have a bunch of Zerglings making their way across the map. Maybe they want to try and poke up into the main, which will definitely not work out. There's just way too many cannons in defense here, so they're going to try and check for a third, I'd imagine? No, they're not going to go for that. But, wow, I have no idea why Minigun is doing that. Maybe to try and rendezvous his army back together. Yeah, it looks like he doesn't want to get his army all back and packed up in a nice Protoss ball. And here we have the 2 Protoss balls coming together. I will never say that again, and the Stalkers are going to be picking up. This has been on a Zergling killing spree, these Stalkers, my goodness. These are like the veterans of war, these are the teachers, the disciples, everything you can imagine. Just meeting up with the old, the newer recruits, I guess I could say, and Idra is pooping out some creep here, which is not really too useful. Minigun just throwing down more static defenses, and I think that this is really what he needs to do. But Idra is getting his 4th, so I think that he is catching up again. He is getting actually he's literally getting infestors right now, and he is researching neuroparasites. So I guess he's expecting Colossus, but he doesn't quite see. If we take a look at, hopefully I can go to it. E.g. Idra's player cam, we can see that he's just, you know, going around, macroing up. He does not have a queen there. He should send 1 queen down to his 4th, which used to be his 3rd. And let's see, he does have quite a menacing army. I don't know if Minigun will be able to deal with this. If we go to Minigun's point of view, he does have High Templar, so we can change those into Archons, which can completely obliterate roaches and lings. Honestly, they do so much damage, but he could just save them for Sidestorm as well. Minigun, that was exceptional. That was very good play. He just sniped off a creep over there. That's going to halt the spread of creep from the middle of the map, which is just instrumental to the gameplay and the rest of this game. And oh my goodness, Idra going to go for the flank around. Yeah, I want to say he is. We have the Infestors in the middle. We actually have the High Templar feedbacking the Infestors. Zergling's running in, but I don't know if this is such a good angle. Force field's going down, preventing the Roaches from coming in and doing all their damage. Zerglings get picked apart first, and now the Protoss ball is able to all it has to deal with is Roaches and Infestors, and there are plenty of Immortals here, plenty of Sentries here, plenty of Stalkers here, just to shoot them all down. Pew, 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 pew. Keep in mind that Stalkers do that additional damage. Right now, 16, because with the +2 attack upgrade to the armored units, and Roaches do count as armored. So Idra coming out as a loser in that battle, losing a majority of his lings. If we take a look at the army supply tab, we can see that Idra just pretty much got even out with the Protoss player. That's not where you want to be in the army tab. Minigun now, I think that he's pretty much waiting for his +2, +3, and that's going to really help him out. His +3 ground weapons is not almost done, but his armor just finished. There we go, just finished. And so we have Psystorm out of minigun here. I want to find his Templar archives. There we are. Yes, he does have Psystorm. So I guess that he just didn't have enough energy there for Psystorm, but I'm wondering where on earth where did his High Templar go? I'm not 100% sure about that. Is he doing some sort of harassment? I don't see any blue on red here. So at this point in time, we're just waiting for both players to re-macro up. I'm just going to be throwing down a bunch of spine crawlers. This is definitely what you want to do. It's sort of very hard to break spine crawlers unless you have Immortals or Colossus. Probably Colossus is the most favorite here. But now we do have the Protoss ball coming in before these spine crawlers can finish. This is going to be huge. Sidestroke going down on the roaches, and we have a bunch of links streaming in. Will they be able to do any damage? I'm choking on my own spin here, but I don't care. Neuroparasite going down on on 5 Immortals at once. Oh my god! Obliterating half of the army there, but now the Neuroparasite wears off. Now Stalkers get reworked in, and now Idra is out of a completely fluid army. Oh my god, Idra just losing. He's crumbling under the pressure. He's not able to handle it. And Idra... oh god. Oh, and Minigun, he takes it like a boss. He just smiles. Oh, Minigun. I love Minigun's personality, guys. If you don't know about him, you should definitely check him out. He's a nice guy. Definitely one of the coolest StarCraft players, I'd say. Sort of like on the Whitebrow side. Anyway, we have more Stalkers streaming in here, and this is just all Minigun needs to do, all the while grabbing his 4th expansion, keeping on top of it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. You did that so badly, you played it so wrong. Minigun, thanks. And it just doesn't matter. Oh my god, guys, I really hope you enjoyed that broadcast. If you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel, as there's definitely more on the way. I swear I did not look at this replay. I just saw Idra and I decided to cast it, and I saw Minigun. 2 of my favorite players to see, and one of my favorite matchups is obviously Protoss versus Zerg, because I am a Protoss player myself. But anyway, I will go on to casting more games. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Please stay tuned, and that's it. Strike StarCraft, signing out. I almost forgot, before uploading this replay, that I said I would show the Warp Prism, so we will go through the life and death of this wonderful, wonderful Warp Prism. And no, Warp Prisms are not this fast. Stop saying they're OP. Look in the right-hand side of the screen. The speed is just simply set on faster ×2, so we have the Warp Prism making its way to the top, basically the top of the map, behind E.G. Idra's base. And now, guys, I'm going to lower to faster speed, which is the normal, regular speed. You're going to see why Idra raged. Warping in about 5 Zealots here are going to be running up here. This completely, totally, utterly distracts Idra from this. This is why there were no Zealots in this ball, because the Zealots were up here. So we have the Zealots running over here, Zerglings and Roaches busy taking out the Zealots. All the while, we have Minigun's Stealth Force coming over here, and by the time Idra figures it out, the Warp Prism is going to be packing up, it's going to be leaving, and Idra finally rallied his units down, but it is far too late. Now, this is the part I believe that Idra think that he could have done better, is if we take a look here, he gets force fielded out, but a few Zerglings still make their way in. So I believe that Idra thinks that if he had just basically not have been distracted here, he would have had more Zerglings running over here to be able to take out this army. So if we play it from here, we actually have more Zealots just going to be taking out a Queen here. Not really too good, and the Zealots are too low on HP, and they're also attacking Roaches. And this is a bad on Idra's part. He actually has quite a few Zerglings up here, approximately 8, 9, 10, 11 Zerglings. And we do have the War Prison coming down here, by which time the 3rd is already almost going down. We have a bunch of sentries forcing here. Now, again, guys, I want to point something out, that if you do get enraged in a game, you are going to lose a lot. So take a look at Idra's supply over here. He is going to be taking out these overlords are going to be going out, and this severely supply blocks Idra. This is the reason why Idra couldn't produce for quite a bit, because he got supply blocked, and so Idra is limited to this army for a set amount of time. He's actually 3 to 4 overlords behind, depending on how you want to look at it. And so that is the story of Idra's rage. If you guys like what you see, then you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button and stay tuned. So that's pretty much it, guys.